Hey guys, in this video we're going to be talking about music. I know, right? But we're actually going to be focusing on the different symbols. Kind of we can understand what we're reading outside the notes and the rhythms. What do all these symbols mean? What am I even looking at? Well, I'm here to help you guys fully understand what it is we're reading, so when we discuss it in class, you aren't confused as to where we are or what we're talking about. So, in music, you have these. Lots of these. These is called staff. The staff is 5 lines and 4 spaces. It's all across music. Now I only have one square here. You can tell I got 2 bar lines. A line going down, that's 2. 2 bar lines indicate I only have one measure. A measure is identified by 1 space between the bar lines. All this area between 2 lines, 1 measure. Now, if I were to add a bar line right down the middle, I would no longer have 1 measure, I would have 2 measures. Measure 1 and measure 2. I can keep going and adding to it to add more and more and more measures, and that makes up music, having multiple measures. So, if we were playing in class and I were to say, find measure 1, you would be looking measure 1. Measure 1. If I said measure 2, you would go to the second measure. Now let's talk about some of these symbols that are around it. A little bit, what am I even looking at? We're going to focus on clefs next. There's different clefs for violins, violas, and cello bass. For this video, we're just going to do treble clef, which is the violins. Violas, you have alto clef, and cellos and basses, you have the bass clef. For this, we are just going to focus on alto clef. If you see that in front of your music going down the left side, you are reading violin music. Congratulations. Unless you're a viola, cello, or bass, then you probably need to ask your teacher for more music, or you need to get a different book. That is a treble clef. It belongs exclusively to the violins and orchestra. That just tells you which notes you're supposed to be reading. You can refer to the other videos on what the names of the lines and spaces are for violin. Violas, you have your own video. Cello basses, you have yours as well. Now let's talk about time. What is time? Is time a man-made concept? Is it real? Can time exist without space? I think I'm getting too philosophical. Let's talk about time in music. So time in music tells us how many beats are in each measure or how fast to play. Typically, most music is written in either 3 or 4, predominantly 4. How can you tell you're in 4? Well, your music will have a big old 4, 4. When you see the 4, 4, that says every one measure gets exactly 4 beats. In this, you have 2 measures, each with 4 beats. That's a total of 8 beats. So first measure would be measure 1. 4 claps, 4 beats, we're in 4. Now let's talk about notes and rests. Early on, you have quarter notes and quarter rests. They both look very different. A quarter note is a little black dot with a little line. Every quarter note gets exactly 1 beat. Goes right with the metronome every time. It's not da 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 da. It's right with the beat every time. Cool. Now let's talk about quarter rests. Quarter rests kind of look like that. I'm not very good at drawing them, but that's a quarter rest. Now, the difference between a rest and a quarter note is a quarter note has sound. A quarter note has the da, has something to it. There's sound. And rest has no sound. It's the absence of sound. But it still gets a beat. A quarter rest is 1 beat of silence. So if we're in 4, we have 4 beats. it would go like this. Looking at this, quarter of sound, quarter of silence, quarter of sound, quarter of silence. Most people typically drag out their rests, or they rush their notes. It's super important that you give each of these their respected value. Quarter note with a beat. Quarter rest with the beat. Don't forget that when practicing your music. Rests are just as important as notes. Without silence, sound wouldn't be as special. I hope this has helped. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I will be happy to answer whatever I can as quick as possible. Thank you.